You're watching Cable 2.
Hello everyone and welcome to Today with Dr. Beverly Emory. I'm Chris Runge. Thanks so much for being with us. Lots to get to today, including a very special week around the country, and here in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County, it's the Week of the Young Child. We're going to talk with an expert about early childhood education and why we are celebrating it this week here in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County. First of all, Dr. Emory, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I can't believe it's the 30th, what do you have, 30 more days, I think.
That's it. I mean,
it's hard to believe.
Yeah, May will be next week, so not far away. And as time keeps moving faster and faster, let's talk about the bond projects that we've been working on. They've been in the news a bit lately. Where do we stand right now? We've broken ground, moved dirt, anything?
So we've had a little hiccup here, and we had our first project, Connaught Elementary School, bids come in, and they came in about 20% over our projected estimates, which we know the market's improving, which is a good thing for contractors and not so good for those of us who are building. So we have had to go through a technical process, which basically the board took action a week ago to reject all of the bids and then to reach back out through the architect to those vendors basically to get suggestions for things we can take out of the project or change that would lower the cost. Now that will require us to go back, so then we'll have to redo the specs and go back out to bid again. The reason we were comfortable doing this is that none of it will change the ending timeline for students and faculty entering the new facility. So we do have a little window there that we were able to do this. And since it's the first project, we didn't want to start out just saying, oh, we're going to have to pay more to get this completed. So that is in process, and then we will look at the Paisley-Lawrence bids at the next Building and Grounds Committee meeting. Okay,
Paisley-Lawrence, that's a good segue into the next question. There's a lot of history in both of those names. There was discussion at the last board meeting about maybe renaming the combined campus. What did they decide?
So I think because there is legacy in both of these schools, I think there was just some concern that we not leave off a name or blend in such a way so as to lose the historical figures for whom those schools were originally designated. And so that is where it will land. You will have both of the names on the school building in visible places. One of our sources of pride in this project is that the teams have worked so well. So it will be two schools on one campus, but a lot of things are blended. So the administrative offices, you won't have one office for one school and one office for another. Some of the common areas that will be shared. Clearly there will be a Lawrence school and a Paisley IB, but and clearly both names will be retained in this process, and I think we all feel good about that.
That's great, yeah. Went to Paisley, it's a great school, good name.
Yes.
Class size waivers, that has been in the news a lot lately. For those of us that might not understand exactly why we need to be concerned about them, what are they and why do we care? And why does Raleigh care right now?
Well, our General Assembly has been taking steps over time to work towards lowering class size in kindergarten through third grade. And for a long time, there have been guidelines about class size, but we were able to use an averaging process, so generally there wasn't that much need to request a waiver if you went over those guidelines. In the last 2 years, the class sizes have actually had a cap. So for instance, this year, the cap on kindergarten through third grade is 24 students, and we're not supposed to go over that cap. And if we do, we're supposed to request a waiver. We had mixed messages early in the year about whether we could file a waiver or not. Long story short, when we learned that we could and we had some classrooms over that 24 cap, we requested a waiver, and we're still waiting on official notice about the status of those. The reason this is pertinent is that legislation was passed last year to even lower class size more, and I don't think anyone has issues with lowering class size. It's how and where, and so we're very grateful that this week we've seen some compromise language in both the House and the Senate that will keep us moving towards lower class size, but gives us some time, particularly in this year, to plan around that and work with the General Assembly on how to phase that in. And so I feel greatly relieved about what's gone on this week, and am very grateful for the sense of compromise and the spirit of support we've seen out of Raleigh this week.
Perfect. And we are taping this the last week of April, which is the National Week of the Young Child. And we're celebrating it here in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County. King, we're going to talk more about it in the next segment, but you want to talk a little bit about early education, early childhood education, why it's so important?
Karen McNeil Miller, who folks in our community may remember, was the chair of the Kate B. Reynolds Foundation and left us a couple of years ago, used to always use the poem, "The Fence or the Ambulance." And, you know, it was talking about this village where people fell off the cliff and they sent the ambulance. And they were really fast. You know, they got good at sending the ambulance always to get the people who fell off the cliff. And that a visionary villager said, well, why don't we just build a fence, and you know, then we don't have to send the ambulance. And so Karen always would start discussions about, well, where are we? Are we building fences? And in the school business, we can't not do both, really. I mean, we can't say, well, because these are freshmen, we're just going to, whatever happens to them happens. We want them to graduate, but we also really need to be very intentional about fences. And I think that's this attention in partnership with KB Reynolds and our community and Project Impact that really allow us to look at what does the fence look like? How do we help these kiddos before they even enter kindergarten, because we know there's a dramatic impact on the trajectory of their educational journey if they start right, you know? Most of us never worried about that, right? We knew how to hold the book. We could write our name. We were potty trained. We might have been at Sunday school or some other experience where we knew how to get in a line and follow someone to the cafeteria. And these are skills that I think sometimes we assume little people know. And so a lot of this effort is around how do we get kids ready? How do we help parents who desperately want their kids to be ready? There's no parent on the planet that doesn't want their child to be successful. True. And so are there some things we can do to help even the busiest parent know, here are some things you could be doing that would help get your child ready? It's not just about the 4-year-old, but all the folks that are wrapped around that child. And so I think the awareness this week is just another way for us to lift up the importance of kids being ready, and that doesn't always have to be formal. There are a lot of ways that as a community we can help our children be ready for school.
And we did do a lot this week locally. We've always recognized that we haven't always done as much as we did this week, but we kicked it off at Old Town Elementary School. Rusty Hall, the principal there, and the entire school came out for that. Ready Freddie was there. There they are.
Oh, great.
Singing, the music teacher taught him a little rap. There's our chairman of the Board of Education, there's Dana Jones, and Ready Freddie. That's what I was waiting for.
Freddie, yeah.
Ready Freddie. They made their own instruments, and you'll see that in a second. There's Jeff McIntosh. He read a proclamation from the mayor's office, from Alan Joins' office. And this is this little light of mine.
Oh, great.
And there's Freddie again. And lots of fun. There's a lot of history in that school, too. So a neat place.
Yes, and events all week, and I'm sure Victoria will probably talk more about that. But I really appreciate folks leadership in, you're right, certainly, well, this is the week, but to really be organized and intentional about bringing attention to it in fun ways that everybody can participate in.
It was a lot of fun, and we got lucky too. There was no power up and down
right.
Ronaldo Road, and the power came on
And no
right
power
at Old
there
Town.
earlier in the morning.
No, it came very close. It's been a week of a lot of challenges for folks in the school system, employees, teachers, maintenance. There's been some flooding. Jefferson Elementary came really close. It's a good time to thank those people because they put in a lot of extra hours this week.
Well, I think we are, one of our strengths that we don't talk about that much is how folks are committed to the operational aspects of this district. I would put our folks up against anybody in the country in terms of response time, even the sort of preventative views of things, and I think we've just had good leadership. I can't say enough about folks like Wayne Laughlin who have kind of been born and raised in the system, and so not only do you know it, but that incredible passion to get it right and the real connection to how important it is. You know, so while they're not in a classroom every day teaching second graders, they feel very passionately that making sure the space is what it should be is their contribution to those kids. And our teams here, remarkable. In fact, it's one of the things I worry the least about. You know, it's just like I know they're going to get it, and they do a great job of keeping us informed. Daryl and Daryl Taylor with transportation. We just, I know some people call that sort of the back side of the house, and we're incredibly blessed with the kind of commitment and leadership we have there.
I was going to say transportation. It's hard enough to drive those buses and to navigate on a sunny day, but I mean, there was some massive amounts of rain, and you're used to it, I guess, coming from the eastern part of the state with hurricanes and tropical storms. But it wasn't unprecedented, but it was
just
a lot.
long too.
Yeah.
It was consistent, and you know, sometimes you have a blip, and then you can. But so if you have to reroute Jefferson Elementary School traffic multiple days in a row. And watch that so you make sure there's not other kinds of issues. But truthfully, given the sort of circumstances, and if you look at Raleigh, I think we really kind of escaped this without too much.
We did. We had no major incidents. I mean, it was great. So anyway, thanks to everyone involved with that. Even cleaning up cable too. You can't see it, but I mean,
everybody just, in fact, like I said, you'd never know it. People just jump right in and it's done.
It's done. Yep. All right, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got a big day ahead of you, so go do it.
Big weeks until school is out.
That's right. And we'll talk again one more time before school is out.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks again. And as we talked about, coming up in just a minute, we'll talk about the week of the young child. That and more coming up. Stay with us.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
And welcome back to Today with Dr. Beverly Emory. We talked a little bit earlier about the Week of the Young Child and the importance of early childhood education. And joining us now is Victoria Fulton. Victoria, thank you very much for being with us. Tell us what your position is with the school system, your title.
I am the Program Manager for Project Impact with Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools.
Okay, and so you have been instrumental in helping us with this Week of the Young Child celebration. Tell us a bit about it and why it's so important that we focus on educating children so young.
So I've been working a lot with Eva Phillips, who's our Ready Schools coordinator, who really took the reins on getting the school system involved this year. But the Week of the Young Child is an annual celebration that the National Association for the Education of Young Children sponsors every year. And we just wanted to be really deliberate about involving the school system and really connecting with all of our community partners, because there are so many folks that are doing great work in the early childhood realm here in Winston-Salem and Forsyth County. And when we say early childhood, we're really talking about birth through age 8. So we're not just talking about people that, teachers that work with our kids in the classroom, but also everyone that works in child care centers, parents who are kids' first teachers, everyone who does their part to make sure that we're setting up these young people for success in the future.
Now, you and I were out at Easton Elementary a couple of weeks ago, and we did a video that's available on our YouTube channel if you want to check it out. It was about pre-K mainly, and the help that Project Impact assisted with out at Easton. Tell us about that. What did Project Impact do?
So Project Impact has a presence in 2 programs at Easton, and you heard about both of them in that video. We were really excited to bring a new pre-K classroom to Easton this year, and pre-K is so critical because that's really a way of introducing students to all the skills they'll need in kindergarten. So not just learning those academic concepts, letter naming, how to write your name, numbers, but also all of the social emotional pieces that really get students ready to succeed in school. Everything from knowing how to line up, as Dr. Emory said in her segment, knowing how to work with others, share and play, how to follow instructions, how to work on your own. And so pre-K is really a great way of orienting students to that whole process so that when they start kindergarten, they're comfortable, they're excited, they're ready to learn. And the other program that we talked about at Easton is Pathway to K, which is sort of a 3-week kindergarten, almost boot camp for kids that are about to start kindergarten in the fall and haven't had a pre-K experience. And so that, in a really short time, we're introducing kids to those concepts, to those skills, so that they come in with that confidence and that understanding of what it means to go to school. And we're bringing that program back for a 2nd year this year, so we're really looking forward to that.
And when I saw that and we did that video, it brought back a lot of memories, and I was petrified to go to kids. I was really scared because it's like you're all of a sudden grown up and you're a big person now. So I think that's a great program. It really is. You've got a lot planned this week. We're taping this the last week of April, so a lot has already happened. And one more thing, this week is a big parade that's taking place?
That's right. So we started this week with a bang at Old Town Elementary with the kickoff celebration on Monday. And we're ending it with a bang too. Ready Freddy, who's our mascot for kindergarten readiness, will be making appearances at a series of child care centers and pre-K classrooms tomorrow morning. And then we will be at Sarah Y. Austin for the Week of the Young Child parade. And so we'll be marching with Freddie, with child care providers, with teachers and parents and kids, of course, because this week's all about them, celebrating children and all of the work that folks are doing for them.
And this is the first year that we've really gone all out and done all of this celebrating, so hopefully next year we'll do even more.
I think so. I think we've gotten the word out. There's a lot of excitement and energy, and we're just ready to build on it and do more.
All right. Thanks, Victoria. We appreciate it. And
Thank you.
keep us updated. Let us know how we can help and get the word out about early education.
Absolutely, and for any of you at home that have young children in your lives, just take this opportunity to recognize them, celebrate them, because they're so important. They are our community's future, and you know, all of us touch all of them. So the more we can do, the better.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you watching this month. Next time you join us, we're going to have a celebration of sorts, of an anniversary or a birthday, whatever you want to call it. In the summer of 1977, Summit Communications and the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools came to an agreement and put Cable 2 on the air. So we'll take a look back at our past 40 years and maybe look ahead to the next 40 or so the next time that you're with us. Thanks so much for joining us on today. We'll see you next time.